Hi, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I was just sitting here outside and pondering on a few things and questions, and just letting this light kind of be the guidance of everything that I share with you right now. There is a big part in us trying to go to one thing to another, succeed, to pursue a different career, to get as much people as we want in our life. And why is it so hard that it sometimes gets to the point of unfulfillment, that we don't feel satisfied, we don't feel fulfilled by whatever we're doing, because we're after the one thing without appreciating what's actually right in front of us, what's in the plate. And that often happens when, like I said, it's the gratitude. If we learn that everything that comes to us is just temporary, we indulge it more, we sink into it more, we give it more time than normal, than we're used to. We give ourselves more patience, more compassion, because we know that this thing or this person one day is going to disappear. It's not going to be there anymore. So we cherish every single second of that thing or that person, the time we spend with the person, the experience we have with this thing or a career or the job, knowing that maybe it no longer is there anymore. And what spirituality really teaches us to do is to become present, right? That there's like one of the verses in the Bhagavad Gita that talks about this, that that one day all of us are going to go through ashes. We're going to go back to the place we came from. And it reflected on this question of what if, nothing really right now exists as it is, that tomorrow you'd wake up and you wouldn't have the things that you have in the moment. And I like to think of it in a very realistic way, but keeping it authentic, keeping it magical. Why not dream? Why not think of magical things that are yet to happen in our life? Because our brain is wired for survival. So the first instinct, or the first thing we think about when we want to pursue something new or get into a new relationship or hop into a new opportunity, it's what if this happens? We list out all the negative things, and we don't leave space for one positive thing to happen, because deep down we don't think we're worthy to receive it. We don't think we're worthy of good things, because maybe growing up you've learned having a lot or having this great thing, it might disappear one day, it might not exist, someone might take it away from you. And every time this thought comes up when I'm pursuing something or something positive, amazing is happening in my life, I'm just like, man, like how, like God or universe, how do I sink into this more than telling myself, oh, one day it's going to be taken away, or someone is going to take it, or I'm not going to fully experience it. And we get into this cycle of negativity without even beginning the thing, which is really interesting to notice how we are wired, how things maybe don't flow through us or with us as we want it to, right? And I guess oftentimes that happens because we're not regulated, for example, or we're not really synced into the very thing that we want, the very thing that we want to become. And this cycle obviously repeats itself when we don't pay attention, because often when we pay attention to something, right, if whether it's positive or negative, right, we don't let ourselves experience the fullness of a good positive thing. We don't let ourselves dive deep into it and cherishing it, and we're almost waiting for this moment of of having to achieve it all, which really doesn't exist in any realm of reality, because you cannot really achieve everything at all in one time. there must be, times when we're experiencing certain phases of our life or people coming through our life, and it all takes time to develop. So, my friends, my reflection and thought to you is, which cycle are you in right now? What kind of maybe negative cycle you're stuck in? Maybe you're repeating so much things to yourself that you're like, where did this exist? Or where did this begin? How did that even come to a conclusion or a point where I'm actually, without even stepping, without even knowing what it's going to present to me, and I'm thinking about all these negative things? It's really coming back to two things, right? First is your values. Two is what brings you to life, and are you doing enough of it? Are you doing more of it? Are you doing less of it? And more we give ourselves the time to reflect on where we're holding ourselves back, and what are some things right now in my life, in front of me, on my plate, that I'm not cherishing. And it took me time to develop this, to get to this mindset, because there was glimpses and inches of rewiring every single time that I had a doubt or I had a fear of some sort, and I couldn't get myself out of it, is to really rewire every single day with everything that I say, everything I do. And it takes time, right? And coming from a Middle Eastern background, if none of you know, or some of you do know, that there are some cultural things that come to place. And if we let those things hold ourselves, if we let those things kind of control the way that we behave, or we change our situations because of certain things. And one thing I realized is that it's okay to challenge and to question the things that you've always believed, but to continue to believe the things that you've been conditioned to believe sometimes really takes you to a more negative route. And this is speaking from experience. I'm not really talking on behalf of everybody, but of how these things really shape us if we don't take the step to challenge, if we don't really give ourselves, for example, the opportunity to question the things that we believe. Because if we don't question, we don't get to know the truth. And one of my mentors actually told me something, and it's very interesting, and I was really mind blown by that perspective, because I never truly considered that, right? And the thing that she said is, can't remember exactly, but I'll just kind of paraphrase it. The things that we've always known, right? The things that we've always been listening to. If we are not curious about why we believe a certain thing, why we believe a thing about ourselves, why we do the things that we do, we don't come to the truth of it. And I believe that everything has a reasoning. That whatever we're doing, there's a motive behind everything. There is a reason behind everything. There is something like an outcome that we get from the things we do, the things we say. And it sometimes runs most likely in the subconscious mind. We're not aware that we're doing it. I give you an example that maybe someone who is obese or has a condition, for example, they keep eating and eating and eating. It's not really fueling the body, because first of all, they're not really listening to their body and their needs. They're not aware what they're consuming. They're not aware how much it's impacting their health. It's impacting their weight, their relationships, or even their health overall, because they cannot really move because of obesity. And this is not to call anything or anybody out, but to say that once we become aware of something, that's when we can re-pattern, reshape, and really know what is good for us and what is of benefit. But if we are not aware, we cannot change anything. We cannot speak sense to anybody or ourselves. We can't grow out of the comfort of what we've always known. So it's okay to ask these questions, and I think they're super important to ask. And as I'm sitting here in this field, it's kind of really nice and green. Just really gives me a lot of insight when I'm around nature and surrounded by grass or anything that maybe I'm touching the ground. I feel more grounded. So that's the only way that I can truly share from truth, from an authentic place, because I feel connected to the source that we came from. I hope this is making sense so far. And let all this sink and be of a reflection. Don't judge yourself as you're listening to this. Don't criticize. That's the last thing I want you to do. Don't criticize, don't judge. Don't expect yourself to change after you watch this, or really anything that you listen to of self-growth. Sink into it first. See if it makes sense to you. Does it land? Does it not? If none of this lands, you're welcome to leave, and you're welcome to take away whatever is speaking to you, right? And right now, while I was on my walk, there's a lady that just really makes me have trust and belief in humanity. I was just at the signal, right, crossing to the other direction, and she pulled down her window and she screamed, "Gorgeous, from your hair to your outfit, gorgeous." And she kept saying that, and you can actually feel the intention when someone is complimenting you versus, "Hey, like, you look good," and then you see they roll their eyes or they just flip away, and you just kind of sense their intention is to bring you down. And I'm so aware of such people, and I have no tolerance for those people. I don't have any business with them. I just leave, and I don't really have to be around those people. But my point of sharing this is really not to say that, oh wow, I'm gorgeous. Of course I am, but the whole point of the story is like how when someone truly feels something and a reflection, and they're not afraid to say to someone, "Hey, you look amazing," and we all celebrate each other in that beauty. We all celebrate each other in growing, in becoming. And this whole YouTube channel and everything is truly about that. I want us to celebrate each individual, as celebrate each other, lift each other, not stop bringing people down, stop bringing your friends down for having her to be more gorgeous, or they will always be someone who's better, more beautiful than you are. But there's one truth though, right? The irony and the one truth is that there's only one you. There's only one significant you. And yes, it's significant. Because nobody ever speaks like you, walks like you, talks like you, thinks like you, behave like you, dress like you, loves like you, be kind like you, speak like you. Nobody. It's just one. So why not cherish this soul than spend your whole life comparing, spend your whole life thinking, I should be this, I should be that. And you can always aspire to be someone. You can always aspire to be a great person. But don't let it come from a place of comparison, right? From a place of, okay, I saw something and I saw somebody, so I needed to become that. There's a big difference in these two things, right? Because if we are constantly stuck in this cycle of comparing, there's always better out there. There's always a standard. And it's never enough. Nobody ever feels enough when they're comparing or living up to someone's standards to be this perfect kind of individual. Because it really doesn't exist. It's something we play in our mind because we're trying to escape the person that we are. I think I need to bold this statement out because it's important. And I'm really speaking out from my heart at this moment. I hope you can feel this energy and sink into it. Sink into that. What does that version of you look like? Of trust, of belief, if I can do it regardless. I can do it if this and this happens. I can do it. It's really a matter of trust. It's really a matter of centering, because that centering is what matters. When you're centered here and rooted, really nothing can shake that foundation. Some days it can be shaken, but you would snap back to yourself again, because you have taken care of yourself. You eat good food, you nourish your body, you have healthy relationships, you take care of your health, and you pursue what you want because you've done the work, you've reflected, you journal. So how many of us, how many times have we lost ourselves for other people? Sense of self, not knowing who we are, not knowing how to set boundaries, not knowing what makes me me. Have you ever thought of that question? What makes me me? What are my values? What do I live by? What do I love? What is this even real? How often do we ask those questions? Because I have at certain points. Even when I thought I got what I wanted, I still ask those questions, because it's, you know what, healing is a never-ending process. It just never ends. You'll always grow from something, even if it was silly in your mind. There's a lot of strategies and things I can say here and rant about, but if something doesn't make sense to you, do not follow, because it will take you away from it. Anything, let me put it this way, anything that takes you away from yourself, don't do it, because you're on a path of abandoning yourself for something or for someone when it doesn't really feel right. How do you know? You're going to maybe ask, how do you know when you are not aligned, when it doesn't fit? You just know, because something and ick inside you feels like, what the heck am I doing? Or more specifically, you keep questioning it, like every single time. Because it's okay when you go into something unknown and you question it. It's just because it's new. You're getting outside your comfort zone. That's different. But when it's a continuous cycle of, what is this? What am I doing? I feel disconnected. That's when you know. You do know it when you feel that disconnect. When you feel like, I don't know, I feel an ick all the time I do this. Or I feel an ick every time I'm with this person. I feel an ick every time I do this, even if you got past the comfort, that you're comfortable, but you still feel something. That's your guidance. That's your compass. That's your inner truth. Whatever, intuition, your heart calling. That's what's calling you. And to build that, it's like a muscle. Practices like journaling, going for a walk, connecting back to nature again and again, spending time with yourself, and prioritize that over anything, because that's when you can be present in any relationship. That's when you can be present in your career. That's when you can be present with anything you do. It's still a journey for me, and don't confuse that with I am lacking or I'm leaning backwards, I'm not progressing. It's still progress if you are taking one step ahead. But if you are just here complaining and then it's scary, you don't know what to do, there's a lot of grounding practices, a lot of things that can help you connect to that inner guidance, that compass, that root, the heart center. I feel like there should, I don't know, something inside me tells me there's a name I want to. It's not inner compass. I feel like there's another name to this. It's not the intuition, it's the wisdom, it's the knowing. There's so many words, because I love words, and I think you get what I mean. Let me know if you like these kind of videos where I'm just recording outside and it's just spontaneous. Usually I do these on my walks. I'm just inspired by life experiences, nature, conversations with people, and I just let myself be guided through that place and just speak and just call it a day. Listen, right? Try to listen beyond your ears, with your whole body, with your ears, with your heart, and through your experience. Like, let yourself immerse fully in whatever it is, not just I'm listening through my ears. Imagine it like you're listening to music. You don't just listen through your ears. Your heart is there. Your emotions are there. Your presence is there. Your experiences is moving. You know, when you listen to a certain music, you move a certain way. Like when you listen to classic, you're just like relaxed. When you're listening to rock music, you're just like jumping up and down, which is so fun. I'm not a fan of rock, but you know, like pump up music, you just start dancing. You don't like sway left and right. So let me know what resonated with you. And I'm actually seeing a beautiful butterfly just swaying itself, and it's being swayed by the wind here. So if any of this resonates, please leave a comment below. I'd love to chat, or send me an email. I'll also leave that in the description. But without further ado, live with love, live with truth, and know that you're always guided in this space. Come back to this video, save it, watch it for later. Anytime you're just like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I don't know who I am. It's like a pick-me-up, hey? I want this to be a pick-me-up for your down days, because I so love that. So on my down days, I usually just listen to something that inspires me and gets me out of the cycle of looping in my head and thinking that my life is wrong and that I'm doing something wrong. So you're not. And this video is a sign that you're absolutely exactly where you are and where you need to be. All right, my loves, I'll catch you in the next video.